John mentioned that we need a framework to live by, to lead by.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I believe that the framework that the United States lives and leads by is the framework of change. It is not a framework of rigidity and legality. There's a system of legality to support a framework of change. Because what we have seen is that change is required. Mm-hmm. We must adapt. We must evolve. We must disrupt. If you're so tied into a legalistic system that you can't change it with the stroke of a pen, right? Essentially what you're saying is the chief executive, the president, who is voted into office by the people of the United States and delegates and et cetera, right? Mm-hmm. Essentially, that person has gone through a vetting process to be given the pen that can change the letter of the law, in some cases, in a moment. Mm-hmm. And where he can't change the letter of the law, there's a system to support other changes, whether that's the judicial branch or the legislative branch or whatever else. That is what is our framework. That is what gives us a huge advantage over many of our opposition governments and countries. That's why threats come and go, but the United States stays the same, because our consistency is being able to change, to flex, to meet the need and meet the threat that presents itself.
So a question or comment and a question. It sounds like what you're describing is more of a European parliamentary system. That's a comment. But the question then is, would you support an easier way to amend the Constitution than the way that we have now, which would then affect change more easily?
I don't think the Constitution needs to change. The Constitution's built with the flexibility that we need.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Wow, I disagree.
That's why so many people can take a stance on an argument and say that's not constitutional. Other people can stand on and say we are making a change that is constitutional. Like that healthy debate, that change, that argument about how it's interpreted is the gift that our forefathers gave us that I don't think they realized they were giving us, right? By writing a constitution that's so short, that needed constant amendments.
You're saying the Constitution's open to interpretation.
Everything is open to interpretation. The whole judicial system is open to interpretation. Judges and attorneys can interpret a law a different way. And you are the one, as the citizen of the United States, who sits on the receiving end of however they interpret it. The judge that determined that this man should go to jail, a different judge in a different court on a different day could have had a different conclusion, and his whole life would be different.
That's a good point.
Right? Mm-hmm. We either like that or we don't like that.
So fresh on me.